sure to like the video, subscribe, and comment. So, I'm going to start by saying the critics can go screw themselves, like on all things that stand, because there is no way that this movie has a 37 on Rotten Tomatoes by the critics. There's no way. Now, is this by means a perfect film? No, no, not even close. Is it an indeed triumph of a film? Absolutely. And you'd be lying if you didn't think so. I just think that instead of what they were looking for, was they were looking for controversy, they were looking for the character of Michael Jackson to get torn through the mud. Instead, what they got was a triumphant story about a boy who became the biggest star in the world. If that's what you were going to see, that's what you're going to get. That's what I went to see. That's what I got. I love this movie. Straight facts. Because the kid, Jafar Jackson, Michael Jackson's nephew, who was about 12 years old when he died back in 2009, displayed perfectly Michael Jackson's voice, look, essence, movements, about as best as anybody ever actually could, right? And it is just phenomenal. It is just phenomenal. The audience scenes, like when he's performing live on stage, those sequences are incredible. Like seeing it in IMAX, which is what I did, it just amplified everything. It was just like I was actually there. And there were some scenes I'm looking like, man, Michael Jackson's spirit just kind of embodied this dude, man. Like some shots where he looked exactly like him. And I will say, I love the effort they went into putting the film together. I know to recapture off the wall, they kind of had to restore the Tower Records building, at least that wall where he took the picture, to kind of capture the essence of the time to get the album right, which is cool. They could have just digitally affected it, but they did it practically. I know Jafar Jackson went through like 2 years of casting process before he got casted. I know that. I know people have asked why Janet Jackson wasn't featured. Well, to be fair, I think Rebby Jackson also wasn't featured, and Janet Jackson pretty much requested to not be featured in the film. I don't know why. It is what it is. I would have loved to have heard a Good Times joke with her being on there, but missed opportunity, right? And that was per her request. So she wasn't involved. She didn't even work on the movie, but everyone else did for the most part. And I gotta say that Coleman Domingo put on a very demanding, commanding performance as Joe Jackson. He put on such a good performance. Same with Nia Long. Nia Long gave probably the sweetest performance of her entire career. I didn't. She felt like Katherine Jackson. She put on such a good performance, and I want to do a shout out to Juliano Valdi as young Michael. That kid was awesome. That kid was so good. Like he was really freaking good as young Michael. Like say what you want, but that kid was really awesome. Uh, just so many different things. I know there was supposed to be Gladys Knight, but I think she got taken out. Like not Gladys Knight. She is there when they first go out on stage as the Jackson Five. The girl walking past them and saying they're so handsome. That's Gladys Knight. Um, Diana Ross was supposed to be in the movie more, but some stuff kind of went down. I think it was like some legal things, some other stuff like that, where she couldn't make an appearance into the film. But what else happened in this movie? When they did Thriller, they actually went back to the street, Union Pacific Avenue, and they reshot the Thriller dance just at the same street. They didn't make a set. They location shot. That is some real dedication right there. It is real dedication. But all in all, this movie was beautiful. I damn near cried at least 2 or 3 times. I thought the performances were fantastic. I thought that the dancing, the choreography, everything was spot on perfect. Everything was spot on perfect, even down to like the last minute detail. And I know biopics aren't like the big, turn of the century. Everyone's like, oh, biopics, we're in the era of biopics. I agree. I definitely agree. But when they're good, they're good. When they're done well. I feel like this was a very tasteful biopic. We get 1967, 68, all the way up to 1988. So we get a good 20 years of his early career. Now, my biggest upset was we didn't get that Jackson 5 from 74 to like 78. We didn't get that Jackson 5. We didn't get older him, more seasoned him when he taught Cher how to do the robot and they performed Blame It on the Boogie and this, that, and the third. It does play in the movie, but I would have loved to have seen them perform. I was looking forward to them perform Blame It on the Boogie in the movie. They performed a good amount of songs. They covered all the big ones. They covered Thriller, they covered Beat It, they covered Billie Jean, they covered Human Nature. Thriller was the biggest section, by the way. Like Off the Wall was a pretty big section, but Thriller was a huge section. Like, it was like most like a good half hour, 45 minutes of the film. The Victory Tour all the way up to when he performs Bad Live, and then that's where the movie ends. And it's more of a story about Michael Jackson breaking free of Joe Jackson's BS, which yeah, he should have. He should have broke free of Joe Jackson because his father is a terrible human being, was a terrible dad. Now people will say like, "Oh, those weapons got those boys famous." Yes, sure, terrified, but yeah, they were famous. But the abuse was just not worth it. It was just not worth it. I think the movie was just as well done as it could have been, and it needs to make about 700 million. They said to justify a sequel. I have no doubts that it will make at least that. It opened to 215 million worldwide opening weekend, which is insane. Highest for a biopic of all time because it's the king of pop. Stop playing with me. But how are you going to do the sequel? Not cover the issues that took place, which they did film and had to take out of the movie and reshoot the ending on another $15 million, which inflated the budget a bit because one of the families of the accused said it's not doable. Y'all ain't having it. So they had to cut that out. So how are you going to do it in the second part? Because that is an important part towards the end of Michael Jackson's career. Uh, yeah, that is pretty much like how I can look at it from that perspective. Oh, nice little Easter egg. The woman that's Michael Jackson's girlfriend in the Thriller video was played by Anton Fuqua's daughter. So that was pretty cool as well. Anton Fuqua, if you guys don't know him, he's the guy who did the Equalizer films. He's the guy who did Training Day. I believe he directed Southpaw. Don't quote me on that. But he is, doing this type of film, and I was afraid because I was like, I've seen his movies, and his movies are never like outstanding like that, except for Training Day. But this film was absolutely that. Sweet baby Jesus. So if you're a big fan of Michael Jackson, you love the music, you love the choreography, you love the look, you love the style, you love the swag, absolutely positively see the film. I do think it's worth your time. I think the critics are wrong. The critics can go blow their dads at this point because there's no way this movie opened up as low as it did from critics. It's just no way. It's just like every minute detail of like the look, the dancing, they captured everything. Now, with that being said, go see the film. That's pretty much all I can give to y'all. If you were a Michael Jackson fan when you were a kid, if you're a Michael Jackson fan as a teenager, adult, no matter how old you were within the 40 years of his career, go see the film and enjoy it for yourself. Get your own experience. And also, if you are a movie person like you say you are, you go to the movies. You want the box office to do well, and the box office is doing swimmingly according to one of my videos not that long ago. So, with that being said, I'm going to sign off. Thank you all for listening. I will see y'all on the next one.